All right, hi everybody. If you don't know me, you should, but my name is McKenzie and I'm from the travel group here in Vancouver. And I wanted to put a video together maybe every once in a while because I know that we're all stuck at home and none of us can travel right now, but we may want to dream about future travel because the time will come when we get back on planes and see more of this beautiful world. So I wanted to invite a supplier that I work with to come and talk about a destination. Suppliers are their expertise is on the background of what helps me provide these absolutely amazing trips for you and for all of my clients. So I wanted to get a little bit of their expertise and hopefully get everyone dreaming a little bit of future travel. So today I am really happy to have Darcie from Anderson Vacations, which is a phenomenal Canadian company that specializes in travel across this beautiful nation of ours, as well as a few select other places around the world. But I thought we should talk about Canada today, because I think going forward, one of the greatest things would be to explore more of this country. We're the second largest country in the world by size, and I think we often forget that there's so many diverse, amazing things to see within this country. And also going forward, I think we're really going to need to support our local tourism. So with that being said, Darcie, how are you doing today?
I'm terrific. Thanks. It's great to see you, Mackenzie. It's great to be here.
And how I love, by the way, I love that painting behind you. It caught my eye right away. It's gorgeous.
Thanks. It's my happy painting. I love color, so it's fun.
Excellent. So I guess the most important question I want to ask is, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing really well, actually. You know what? I'm spending each minute that I'm not working, because I still am working quite a bit. But I'm spending the time that I'm not working doing really productive things. I'm watching master classes. I'm learning. I'm working on a second language. So I'm trying to take that time and use it to my best advantage.
Amazing. And have you learned how to cut your own hair yet?
I have not, because I have a pony, which I'm very, very fortunate. You can see my roots. But I've been offering my husband almost daily, do you want me to cut your hair? I can cut your hair. Why do you won't let me? You won't let me touch it.
Well, I'm thinking about letting a certain someone cut my hair this weekend because it's getting ridiculous.
I think it's cute.
So the next most important question I have is, what are you drinking today? I forgot to mention this earlier. We are going to make this a nice little happy hour, drink and learn. So what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking, I'm a big fan of Blue Gross on Vancouver Island because I live in Nanaimo. So once again, I'm drinking a Blue Gross. This is an Ortega, which is like the best grape on the island. And it's like kind of fruity, and it has this little orange peel, zesty taste to it. So it's one of my favorites.
Amazing. That's great. I am drinking a wine it's from Here's the Thing Vineyards, which is in Oliver, British Columbia. And this is their Gorgeous Gamay Noir, and it is delicious. And I actually also have cheese. I got some, keeping with the Canadian theme, I have some Le Cousin cheese, which is from Quebec. And the cheeses I got today are all from Les Amis de Fromage, which is this amazing cheese place here in Vancouver, which I don't know if you've ever been to, but it's phenomenal. So keeping it local today, keeping with the theme of our staying and traveling within Canada. So now that we got the nitty gritty of what we're drinking out of the way, and if we can cut our own hair, let's talk a little bit more about Anderson Vacations. So actually tell me a bit about yourself, where your experience comes from, and then tell us a little bit about what Anderson Vacations does.
So I am the Director of Business Development for Anderson Vacations, and I've been in the tourism industry for, oh my gosh, 32 years. And yeah, I love everything travel related, of course, and I love Canada. So this makes sense that I was a travel agent just like you for quite a long time. And then I switched over to the supplier side about 7 years ago. Actually, 7 years ago today, to be honest.
Happy
Yeah,
anniversary.
thank you very much. And so now I'm working with Anderson Vacations, and we're going to talk primarily about Canada today because that's our #1 destination. We're a small local company, and I love when you talk about shopping local because that's who we are. We're Canadian, we're based out of Calgary, and it is more important than ever to support local, and I'm doing it myself. I'm making sure that when I go to a coffee shop now, I'm supporting the local mom and pop businesses. And I always was aware of that, but now more than ever so I love that concept. So yeah, we're a small Canadian company, and we sell Canada primarily to Canadians, believe it or not, and through our travel agent partners, because our travel agent partners are so valuable. A lot of people think that you don't need to go through your travel agent to book Canada. I totally disagree, because there's so many different aspects to all the different destinations that we sell. So just to give you an example, Churchill, Manitoba, it's people think, well, I can just go online and book Churchill. No, it's really complicated because there's so many amazing products. So we work really closely with our travel agent partners to help you guys to match your clients with the absolute perfect product. That's what we do.
Amazing. I love it. I love hearing that. What are some of your favorite Canadian destinations to visit with Anderson Vacations?
Okay, like that's the hardest question ever because I love everything.
Compare them all.
I sometimes I even get emotional when I talk about Canada because like if I hear the Canadian national anthem, I get emotional because I'm just so proud of this country. I love Canada for so many reasons. It is the most beautiful place in the world. And so my favorite destinations, I definitely, I live in BC now. I love British Columbia, Vancouver Island where I am. I'm really, really comfortable talking about Vancouver Island because there's so many spectacular things to do on the island, right from Victoria all the way up to where I am in Nanaimo with its wineries and cideries and oyster places and so on. So I love, of course, BC, but I'm a massive Yukon fan. Like I think you and I have talked about this many times.
Yep.
I've been there 4 times in the last 2 years, 3 winter vacations and 1 summer. And I have a few pictures we can show after. But I love it. I feel like it's like my second home. And then from Winnipeg, where it was freezing cold before I came here. So I thought I left Winnipeg to escape the cold, but clearly it wasn't the reason why, because I am constantly putting myself in a situation where it's freezing cold, and I love it. Just love it. I love
it.
I love Eastern Canada. I love it all.
Anyway, is there anywhere we missed? I love it. That's fantastic. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about the different types of products that Anderson offers, because I think a lot of people think of tour company and they think big giant bus and the person with the little flag. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the type of products that Anderson offers in different destinations.
Okay, so more than important than ever, we don't have giant buses crammed with people. That's exactly opposite to what we have. we do some fully escorted tours, what you're talking about. So coach tours with a tour director that tells you about everything you're seeing and takes care of all the details. So we do have that, but there's small group tours. And we have a tour to every province and every territory in Canada. So that's awesome. So if people are looking for that fully escorted component, we have it. But we also do a lot of independent trips. So whether it be couples, singles, families who want to do stuff on their own and travel around Canada, maybe in a self-drive. So we'll work with our travel agent partners like yourself. We'll put together a package with you with the car rental, the accommodation, anything from bed and breakfast to unique boutique hotels, all the way up to the Fairmonts, whatever you're looking for, whatever your clients have their heart's desire. And then we also build the attractions in so that it's a full package. The whole idea is clients are coming to you because they want the package that's easy, it's clean, and it's comprehensive. So we'll put together things that like they might not even have thought of before.
Right.
So, like, I mean, one of the big things I love more than anything in the whole entire world is eating my way through a city, like eating and drinking my way through a city. I love that. So we have access. We offer these incredible foodie tours. And last year, I think honestly, I'm not exaggerating, I did 9 foodie tours in 9 different cities in 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing because when you taste the food and you have the drink and you meet the people, you get into the heart of the city. So we'll often build those into our packages. And sometimes people haven't even thought about adding a foodie tour in Halifax. And then not only is the foodie tour about tastings and experience and all that, there's always a storytelling component to it. And I love that part. Like I love hearing about things like being in Victoria. I did one just recently with my daughter in Victoria, and we did a foodie tour and we were going by the Fairmont Empress Hotel. I don't know if you've heard this story before, but walking by the Empress Hotel, there's all these vines all over the hotel, and they've just in the last couple of years, they've removed the vines. And so there's been quite a stink about it because it's kind of the iconic, quintessential, beautiful view with the red leaves. Right. So that was a big deal. And when they took the vines down, do you know what they found?
What do they find?
A whole bunch of jewelry.
What?
Yeah, because a whole bunch of jewelry. They're like, what? What is this from? Over the years, like many, many, many years before they had air conditioning, the guests used to open their windows and get that lovely sea breeze.
Right.
Well, guess what was living in the vines? A whole bunch of raccoons.
No.
And raccoons love shiny things. So yeah, they were coming into the rooms when the guests were there. And this is the story I was told. But this is the story a foodie tour. And I'm like, that's so interesting. So you walk away from this little day tour that's, with these little tidbits that I just love.
That's hilarious. Maybe that's why the raccoons have those little bandit
Yeah,
things in
because
their eyes, because they're actually robbing you. That's what's happening. I love it.
I
That's
believe
great.
so.
One of the things that strikes me about the foodie tours as well, or doing like a self-drive package when you've got attractions and meals included, or have different opportunities like that, is whenever I travel, and I'm sure I'm speaking for many people who travel with their partners, everything is great, everything is wonderful, and then you're hungry. And
Yeah.
then what happens? You spend an hour looking at Yelp trying to figure out what restaurants are where, because you don't know the city. And so I think having that whole thing kind of packaged together for you, or having some options laid out for you, is really, I mean, let's just take all the guesswork out of the trip. Let's have a blast, and
Yeah.
we've got experts from these destinations that can tell you exactly where you should be going and what you should be eating, and experiences you really don't want to miss. So I
And then
love
you go
that.
back. Like during the food tour, you try these little cool places and then you go, oh, I gotta go back there. So
Right.
after the tour is over, we're heading back to the bakery. We're gonna pick up the Italian bread, and then we're gonna go to the patisserie and get the macaroons and all those kinds of things. And then I'm also an olive fan, but I'm an oyster fanatic. And actually, this is why I love this wine so much, because it's phenomenal with oysters. So then of course I have to go back that evening or find the happy hour and go back and do the oysters there. So that's one of the things. But we also do, like, if people don't want to do a self-drive but they want to travel independently, not with a group, we
Mhm.
can do things like where they fly in and we arrange to have them picked up at the airport with transfers, taken to the hotel, and then from the hotel use it as a home base and do from their tour. So Halifax is a perfect place. If someone says, I just, you know what, I don't want to drive, we both want to just enjoy the vacation and we don't want to drive, then the transfers take them to the hotel, and then from the hotel we can arrange day trips, so to Piggy's Cove or to Lunenburg or to all these different places, again doing a foodie tour in the downtown where they walk around and things like that, so they don't have to drive. But if they really want to explore, again, Yukon, one of my favorites, the Yukon's a perfect place to do a self-drive where they arrive and it's all taken care of. They've got the car and all the
Yeah.
attractions. And then when you get to the Yukon, you can do things like not only do the outdoor activities, we add in things like glass blowing at Lumel Studios. Did you do that when you were in the Yukon?
I didn't. I missed out on doing the glass blowing, unfortunately, but I heard about it and I wish I'd done it.
Yeah, it's absolutely life changing. I think I've done it four times now, and I think now that I'm destined to be a glass blower. It's
Well,
just the funnest thing.
something to look forward to then. That's great. I love it. So you started talking about the glass blowing. So why don't you tell me a little bit about some wow experiences? Let's start with the Yukon. Talk about some wow experiences, things that people can really dream about that you would never think of when you're just saying, oh, I'm gonna go to Whitehorse for the weekend. Like, what are some amazing experiences up there?
Okay, so first of all, the first thing that comes to mind for me is Aurora Borealis to do the Northern Lights viewing. So definitely can see it in the Yukon and also in Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories. We have incredible packages there. One of our best-selling packages is Yellowknife and the Aurora Borealis. It's a 5-day package. But in the Yukon and in Northwest Territories, we have these incredible opportunities to do dog sled experiences, and I've done it twice. The last time I did it, it was because you can do it different ways. The last time I did it, I got into this meditation zone where I was just so at peace with nature, and the dogs did all the work, and I had the opportunity to also, if I wanted to drive, I actually opted out of driving because I was enjoying just being a passenger, like riding in the sled. So dog sledding, ice fishing. I didn't think ice fishing would be something I'd like to do. Totally relaxed. You disconnect, and that's what I think I love about these northern places is that you are forced to disconnect, and that's what we all need. Ice fishing, snowmobiling. I was snowmobiling, and a giant mama moose and her baby jumped right in front of our snowmobile, which was,
Wow.
yeah, incredible, absolutely magical. So that, and then of course adding the glass blowing is awesome. But when I think of like a really cool, iconic experience that has like almost virtually changed my life, because it's hard to wow someone who's been in the industry for so long. We're very fortunate. We get to see all these amazing things,
Right.
and it's hard to wow us. But I was up in Inuvik on one of our tours, one of our packages. It's an independent package. It's not a group tour. It's an independent package. So you've got someone who's interested in going to do something really adventurous. we had the opportunity to sleep in an igloo overnight. And I think we actually have a photo up with
We
the
do, yeah. We're gonna get to those photos next because that photo blew my mind.
Oh my gosh. So I went up there with the idea that I was staying in a hotel, and then they said, do you want to sleep in an igloo? And it really was like not, it was before the season started, so it wasn't
Mhm.
really prepared for us. So we got there and I looked inside the igloo and I thought, oh my gosh, I'll just get the iconic photograph and then I'll go home. But I was traveling with a work colleague who's in his mid 70s. And he said, I'm sleeping in the igloo. And I'm like, ooh, you're sleeping in the igloo. I guess I'm sleeping in the igloo too. So I did. And the igloo is actually, when you see the picture, it's made of ice. Like just, it's actually chunks of ice out of the lake they put together to make this igloo. And we got in there, we got all snuggled in, and it's you're warm. Like they have all the amenities that you need, the warm furs and everything. And I remember, I'm not sure if I really slept at all, but I guess I did a little. But when I woke up in the morning, honest to goodness, my face was frozen in a smile. I was like, I couldn't believe that I was inside the igloo. And it was a full moon that night, so the light was coming through the igloo, through the side, through the glass. It was just
That is
magic.
way too cool.
Yeah,
That is
amazing.
so cool. And you mentioned another spot, just as we first started talking, you were talking about Churchill. So what's the deal with Churchill? What is the big draw in Churchill?
Okay, so first of all, let me just start by saying, if someone's going to Churchill, you pretty much have to go through Winnipeg. And it used to be in the olden days, because I lived in Winnipeg for a long time, that people come into Winnipeg and they just get the heck out of Dodge and they want to get up north as fast as they could. But you know what? I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Winnipegger. There's so many cool things there. The Human Rights Museum is amazing.
Right, I have heard about that. It's apparently spectacular.
It really is. And the Journey to Churchill, which is at the zoo, the Assiniboine Point Park Zoo, is it's beautiful. There's that, the Forks, the Commons there, this area, this Forks where this market is at. There's all these things to see, and then this great food scene that just blossomed out of I don't know where, but it's incredible. So I say at least one night, preferably 2 nights in Winnipeg. Then you can go to Churchill either by flying or you can take a train. And I suggest taking a train one way and flying back, or vice versa. But the thing about Churchill is there's so many ways to do it. And most everyone thinks, okay, fall or winter, like November, December, October, November, December, mostly October, November, when there's abundance of polar bears. If that's what you're looking for is a polar bear experience, then yes, the fall is the time to go. It is cold. All these cold places, by the way, we have clothing rental packages available. So
I was gonna ask about that because I don't think my normal snowboard jacket would handle
you
the
know, it's
minus
not
30 or minus 40-degree weather.
going to cut it. So, but we take care of all that stuff. So, yeah. So if you're from Vancouver, from wherever you are, don't worry about that. So we get you up there, and then there's different experiences in Churchill. So, wintertime, if you're going for polar bears, fall, October, November, and are you a photographer? Like these are questions that you, as a travel professional, need to ask your clients, and they need to be aware to think about these things. Are you a photographer? Do you want to be on the ground with the polar bears? Because you can be. Do you want to be on the back of a tundra buggy and then come back into town and stay in a beautiful lodge, a nice lodge with a beautiful warm fireplace? And is that comfort really important to you? Or do you want to stay out on the tundra and wake up in the morning and perhaps have a polar bear outside your window? So there's all these different options. So what we do is try and match up your clients with the perfect package for Churchill. But summertime is also one of the most spectacular things in the world to do, is go to Churchill, because there are polar bears at that time, a few, not as abundant as the fall, but the beluga whales are there.
Really? I would
Uh,
have never thought about beluga. I mean, I heard about the polar bears in Churchill, but beluga whales in the summer.
yeah, absolutely
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah, and so when you're not only the beluga whales, so you can have an experience where you can be in a boat. You can no longer snorkel with them, but there are other opportunities to be closer to them in the water, and they come very close. Like you can be in a kayak. And I have to tell you quickly, I was in a kayak and I had gone kayaking the first day, and I don't have really great upper body strength. So the second day when they asked me to go again, I was like, I wanted to, and I got in my kayak, but I couldn't even lift my arms. I was so tired. So the rest of the group went on, and they made me promise I would just stay by the buoy and I wouldn't go anywhere. So I did. They were all gone. And I'd read somewhere that if you sing, the beluga whales will come. So I'm the worst singer ever, but I decided to sing a song. And I'm not kidding you, these beluga whales came right up beside my
Oh
kayak.
my gosh.
Yeah, you could reach out and touch them. It was just incredible.
What
So
song are you singing?
I was singing a song from The Sound of Music. These are a few of my favorite things. Because I was pretty happy.
That's perfect. I love it. That's fantastic. Well, I'm gonna, as this is our first time doing this on Zoom, I'm gonna try to see if this will work and show a few photos that you sent me from
Okay.
your trips. All right, so this is obviously a picture of the Northern Lights. Where did you take this picture?
I took that picture in Yellowknife, actually. And to be honest, in Yellowknife, it's the best place in the world, better than anywhere else in the world. We didn't even leave town to take that picture. So imagine
Really?
going out to one of the Aurora viewing platforms, how spectacular. And I took that on my cell phone. So the quality isn't the best, but considering I whipped it out and took a picture on my cell phone, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, and then I've switched. The next photo here is a very happy look, a very inquisitive looking polar bear.
So that was off the Tundra buggy, looking off the back of the Tundra buggy. And so what I loved about Churchill and the bears, you don't just go up there and the bears are all hanging out where you are. They're quite elusive, actually, and you have to go looking for them. So it's part of the adventure. And not only did we see bears, we saw Arctic foxes, ptarmigan, and it was like a constant little treasure. Each day, at the end of the day, we'd have happy hour and sit together and say, what did you see? Because there was two buggies at the same time. What did you experience today? It was magical.
That is so cool. And I see you now in another animal encounter with a very happy looking puppy.
So that was actually just before I got onto the dog sled this year, this last trip I took in February. And what I loved about it was there's all these dogs there. And the one thing I learned is that these dogs are born to run. And they are not happy unless they're out there running. So it was really cool to connect with the dogs and then have them pulling you. They were looking over their shoulder at you. They just wanted to bond with you. It was
Oh. And here is the igloo.
Yeah, that's the picture. That's the one, the iconic photo. And it was nighttime, it was beautiful. And not only do we sleep in that thing, so see how it's lit up? There's actually a truck behind it shining its lights through it so you can get the photo. So you
Oh,
can
that
see
is way too cool.
it's really beautiful. But we also sat by the fire that night and we, the gentleman who was hosting us, he cooked reindeer steaks over the fire. They were delicious.
Okay, so this one's not your picture. I snuck this photo and this is mine. I took this photo in the Yukon last winter. I went up there and it was cold and you can see it's frozen, but it was so beautiful. And the sun is just coming up over the mountains, but it's about noon. And I absolutely loved it. It was such an incredible experience. So everything that you're saying, I can back up about the Yukon being so whimsical. And I just thought this photo was perfect. So I snuck it into your photos.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Now I've got a picture up of you flying over what looks to be a glacier.
It is. And okay, so what's really cool about this picture is remember this one, and then when you show the next one, I was on a flight seeing trip. So we were on this little tiny airplane, and it was summertime, actually, it was August. So this is actually the second picture. The one that you're going to show next is over blue water. So on the flight, we're flying along, it's green, the water is blue, I'm sweating, I'm so hot inside this little plane. And then 5 minutes later, we are literally over this glacier. So it was incredible. And I was totally dressed for summer. And then when we got over the snow, I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing.
I
Just
love it. Yes, and here's the other one. This doesn't look like the same place.
no, and it's virtually the same trip. It was a 45-minute flight, and it was virtually the exact same flight. And then so we went from the blue water to over the glacier. We saw floating little icebergs over in these lakes. And then from there, we went to the next photograph. We went to a lake lodge, Southern Lake Lodge. So you can see how peaceful and beautiful it is. And we end up staying at this incredible lodge. And I've had the privilege to go to several lodges up in the Yukon. And they're all very, very different experiences, summer versus winter. But again, the best thing, I love to say this, the best thing about going up here is disconnecting from real life, not being able to have that internet access. You have it when you need it, but really being able to put your phone aside and engage with everything around you.
We might need a little bit of that disconnect once we're good to go travel again, don't you think?
Absolutely. And the best part about it is that we are going to travel again. For sure, we're going to travel again. People are calling. They're excited. They want to get back at it. And the moment that we all decide to travel, we're probably not going to go that far away from home. Nobody wants to be stuck too far away. We're a little bit nervous. We're a little bit hesitant, but we all have that urge. Even I have that. I mean, I'm constantly thinking the moment they say, yeah, you can go, I have plans already in my
Mhm.
head. I'm going to go up island and see the northern part of Vancouver Island. Even that's all I can do is stay on my island. I can't stay in this place much longer. I need to
Right.
explore. So Canada is, I'm sure you're going to see it going from province to province, and there's so much to see and do in your own backyard. And Canadian dollar. I mean, why not? Why not support locals? Support your local.
I mean, support local businesses. You still get to travel without going internationally, and you don't have to make any currency exchange. It feels like a win-win-win-win
It
to
is a
visit to
win-win.
visit somewhere else in Canada.
It is, and to explore your own backyard,
Mhm.
I promise you, you will find things that you didn't even know were there. Because I'm living on this island that's 460 kilometers long, and which isn't that big. And every time I leave my home, I find something that I didn't know about, whether it's a tea house or another winery or a cidery. So it's great to explore this backyard and really truly value what we have.
Oh, that is awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much. I know that we could probably talk for hours about this, and the wine will just disappear. And so I'm gonna cut it short now. But I want to thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me today, and hopefully get people's appetites a little bit going about traveling one day soon. This won't last forever, and we will get back out and see the world. And why not enjoy a little bit of our own backyard? If you want more information, you can always check out the travel group. Our website is www.travelg.com, or you can check us out on Twitter at TravelG Insider, or Facebook at the Travel Group, or you can check out Anderson Vacations Facebook, which is at Anderson Vacations CA. So thank you again so much, everyone, for joining me, and thank you again, Darcie, for taking some time today. And well, I'm almost out. I'm gonna have to refill this very soon. But cheers.
Thanks for having
Have a
me.
great day, and we'll talk soon.
Happy Friday. Bye.
Happy Friday. Bye bye.